Tilted Thunder, of course, travel. We've mentioned before, Tilted Thunder's still looking for a permanent home, and as many leagues are, and it's a similar fight that we're facing here, trying to, find a more functional permanent home. So as all leagues are feeling that right now, and everybody trying to get through tough times as we, continue to emerge from COVID, my goodness. All right. So LA's ready to go, as you heard in the background.
Love the cheer. They're ready. Looks like Hot Shots are also setting up. We got about 30 seconds to go before that first whistle gets us started.
So we do see Arizona once again right away. Arizona versus LA, and then Arizona against Tilted Thunder. That'll be at about 3 p.m. So, and I've seen a lot of Arizona skaters around that are not currently geared up. So we will, I'm sure, see a few people joining us for the later bout that are not currently skating in the moment. Logic would dictate anyhow. Checking in, everybody's checking in. McWinkle chatting with Gigi. And we're ready to go.
We are officially getting started here. Jam 1.
So that's going to be Hurricane May for Arizona.
And that is number 524. That is Sonia Soyomayolo for the Derby Dolls. Looks like both jammers are still being held by defensive walls. Hurricane May is out just after turn 2 and coming around.
Sonia's up to the front of the pack now and gets bumped off to the infield by Mimi Mahler. So now looking for purchase around the outside.
Some decisions will be made as May comes around to try to score for the Hot Shots.
Number 97 for LA went down right into Hurricane May's shins, knocked her legs out from underneath her, but popped back up and okay to go on.
May was able to get out of that pack and is coming around for his second scoring pass. Yeager in the front trying to hold back the LA Jammer, doing a great job defensively holding, while May comes around to get some more points.
So, first scoring is up on the board, 9 points for Arizona to open the scoring in this bout.
Looks like we've got Dolly Spartan out there, number 300 for the Hot Shots jamming.
And that's going to be Baby V that is jamming for LA. Dolly around the outside found a lane along the rail and was able to beat Oblivion Westwood to the end of the pack.
LA's got a very small pack out there with 2 defensive players and 1 jammer, so the Hot Shots definitely have an advantage here. Dolly coming around and getting her first scoring pass.
Baby V is able to swivel around that last blocker. That was Hollywood for Arizona. So Baby V gets out to try to keep this to one final scoring attempt for Dolly Spartan, who weaves through the pack and calls it off. LA only had 2 blockers out there, so they had 2 parked in the penalty box early on. So that's 10 points for Arizona up on the board in the early going.
I think that's Sandra Slay O'Connor out there. Yes, Sandy for the Hot Shots in white. We've got number 606, She Deviled Eggs, out there for LA. Sandy makes it out of the pack just before turn 2 while the Hot Shots hold back the LA Jammer.
Hot Shots wall at the front of the pack, holds strong. Mimi Mahler spins that jammer up into the rail. Meanwhile, Sandy with a full head of steam runs into the back of Penetration and gets knocked off to the infield, has to reestablish.
Sandy keeps it moving, is able to get past the pack, is now coming around for a second scoring pass. We've got great defense playing by the Hot Shots up front, keeping that LA Jammer behind them.
And She Deviled Egg up towards the rail to play some jammer defense. Very effective block. Sort of knocked Sandy down into her blockers as well, and then took off to get out of the pack. Sandy now pinned in behind Penetration, and Sandy calls it off. Cheer goes up from the LA contingent here in the crowd.
Yeah, they definitely forced Sandy to call it there. She was trying to get a few more, but made a decision to call it, and we are now on to Jam 4.
We are or will be in a moment. At the moment, Crash is going to blow the whistle, and we got an official timeout. So the officials see not the regulators. There are regulators out there, but they are the Chingadera ref crew.
That's
the
right.
Chingadera ref crew. Thank you. Chingadera ref squad. That's not. Are we still working on it? Is that still in committee?
Ref crew, ref squad.
Right.
We are so appreciative of our referee crew. We could not do any of this without them.
That is correct. Yeah, don't forget also that all the game officials, I mean, this is also true with, your local roller derby league as well, not just here at Chingadera 2025, but, the officials are out there pretty much just of their own volition and also helping the game go on. The officials that you see out there are not just skaters who are not presently skating at the moment. Like, there are officials that travel to tournaments just to go to tournaments and officiate at tournaments. McWinkle was just talking about it, as a matter of fact. So it's worth pointing out. And we tend to figure a lot of people that watch these tournaments are just Derby diehards, but it is worth mentioning if you are not familiar with Derby, yeah, it's an all-volunteer effort. So
my hat is always tipped to the refs. They have such a critical role in this game, and I don't know how they do it, if I'm being honest. Got a little jammer switcheroo here for the hot shots. Looks like that is Evil Twin on the line.
And that is Slammin' Amazon. Honestly, I've announced LA twice now. Slammin' Amazon number 97 is your jammer for LA. Evil Twin was pinned in behind, but then able to get that LA blocker out of the way, and Twin takes off.
That was excellent offense by Nikki Badass there, pushing that LA skater out of the way for Twin, to get out and be your lead jammer. Twin coming around to get some points. More offense played. Oh, little bit of a spill. She's up and at him. Ooh, is she out of the track? No, she's in. We're okay.
Yep. We've had a couple of close calls, but nobody out of the track so far this weekend.
Twin was like, I'm going to get up and call it.
Yeah, I went ahead and called it off. Sure, why not? I just hit the kick plate really hard.
Looks like that resulted in a power jam.
It is going to be a power jam for Arizona. Bitch Please now indeed gets to stay out there and perform the jamming duties. We did have Slammin' Amazon to the penalty box. I heard a stopping ×2 reported in on that one. We've got Bitch Please blocked down to the inside, trying to find an opening. Now there's a block from Pretty Hurt Machine, trying to get some purchase. LA defenders on the front of the pack. That's your pivot, Oblivion Westwood, that spun Bitch down to the infield.
This is excellent defense so far because we do have a 4-on-4 pack, but Bitch is able to get out in turn 3. Let's see what the Hotshots are going to do to try to help Bitch come around and score some points here. Great offense by Skarin Yeager there, pushing down to low. And Bitch continues on and is coming around for another scoring pass.
Arizona's got the pack separated now, keeping the play slow as Bitch Please comes in right into the back of Sheezus. Is now looking for a way, trying to get around Oblivion Westwood.
I see the time is out, but no whistle is being called. Little extra time there. I'm not sure what happened, but we are going to be moving on to jam number 6.
Yeah, taking a look. Tracking the score there, we end up with an 8-point jam for Arizona. And it's going to be a power jam for Los Angeles. We got our first LA Derby Dolls power jam.
That is a very small pack for LA.
Yeah, indeed. And we're going to have a brief timeout here. So who do we have lining up? Looks like that's going to be YOLO. Sonia Sotomayor on the jammer line for LA. But we will confirm that momentarily after this timeout. So 40-0 here in the early going, the very early going.
It was like a solid 5 extra seconds. I was like, what's going on? We're up here doing math, which is pretty unfortunate because it is taking about 4 people to figure out what 12 seconds added to the clock
if there
is.
was ever a time when you needed Sandy to be up here,
Yeah,
your,
Sandy.
Your local resident school teacher on the announcer crew would be to sit up here and tell us what were we trying to figure out? What is 46? What is
Minus
34
12.
plus 12?
Yes.
Thank you. We're like 34 plus 12, and it seriously took 5 of us a solid 20 seconds to answer it.
Well, we are
And
back.
I honestly was just sitting here, and I'm just like, my mouth was just open, and I was paying no attention whatsoever. I just had my mic off. So yeah, I was the best of them all. Sonia Sotomayor on the jammer line for Los Angeles, as we mentioned. Yolo is going to try to follow a blocker through. LA's just got 2 blockers out there. They're doing everything they can. They're now going to try to goad Arizona apart.
Yep.
However, that Arizona skater breaks the goad. Penetration at the back of the pack. Now Chance the Lapper back there as well. The chess game continues. That Arizona skater refuses to stay goaded back there in the back of the pack.
Yeah, it looks like Juicy Kiltor. LA does not want a 4-wall against their jammer, so they continue to try to hold one back, but it looks like Hotshots have all 4 at the front. Nikki getting back up to help stop that jammer from getting any points in this power jam.
Now you can see those 2 blockers for LA as we're down to 10 seconds left in the power jam. You can see that they're just in there trying to get their shoulder in and just pluck apart, one Arizona defender and try to get him goaded. And I saw a couple of times they tried Juicy Kiltor and then Hollywood, and each time the Arizona defender was able to overcome it. The hard part, of course, was you'd get the 2 of them, they'd get one skater stopped, and then one would peel away to try to free the jammer, and then it's a one-on-one. So
yeah,
that's when you've only got 2 blockers out there. It's hard to run a power O. It is difficult.
It is possible, but the chance of being super successful are low, especially when you have all 4 for the opposing team.
Yeah, absolutely. So very good defense by Arizona during that power jam. We have a whistle and another discussion already happening here in the front straightaway. Official timeout, I figured. Yeah, I saw Mama Seidel talking with penalty trackers down there. So this one looks like it's going to be brief. Yeah, I was going to start launching it. Yeah, very brief official timeout.
I see a couple penalties on that board for both sides.
Yeah, and I do know that the LA contingent likes us to track those as best we can, and I've not done that so far, as obviously just remembered that. So we'll try to get you the penalties as best we can, squeeze them in. Sure, thank you very much, Barbarian. All right, back to it, same jammers. Hurricane May. And Jane Woe. That is Jane Woe, your captain for LA. Jane is towards the.
I think that's Slam and Amazon. Nope, it's not. My bad.
Woe. And
you got
gets out. We got the pursuit on with Hurricane May. Jane Woe checking over her shoulder and knows
we got
May
a
is back
jammer
there. We got
race.
both skaters are taking off. Jane Woe not giving it up and finally calls it off. Yeah, May came into the back straightaway and swung out wide and I think found another gear, so Jane Woe had to call it off. That was quite the jammer race, though.
That was fun.
My goodness.
And there was effective accordioning happening in the front where Arizona went and it caused, LA to have to move forward, and it was just too fast. Ultimately had to call it off.
Multiple things going on at once there, a lot to watch. No points for either side, though. We have Dolly Spartan for Arizona, and that is...
Looks like Valley Hurl, 818 for LA.
Yep. Valley Hurl for the first time. Dolly is quickly out. Valley Hurl almost out. Got spun off at the last second by Skid Vicious down to the infield.
Skid Vicious is not fun to be against. Although, looks like Valley Hurl made their way out of the pack. Dolly's coming around trying to get some points. Ideally tries to get all 5 of them, or 4 of them, calls it.
Yep. So something I've noticed here, I've seen really... through the first 3 jams, Arizona had a second scoring pass on each of them, and now LA seems to be getting their jammer out. They got lead jam at least once, but they're getting their jammer out now much more successfully on that first pass, and that seems to be helping.
That definitely makes the difference in terms of keeping that point spread lower.
Yep. And we got 4 points up on the board for Arizona.
I think we got a cheering section over there if you guys could hear that. Looks like Skarin Yeager is jamming for the first time in this game, and we've got She Deviled Egg also jamming for LA. Jaeger gets out just before turn 2 in the apex. LA Jammer is still being held over there in turn 2 by defensive hotshot players. Jaeger tries to get by high and is successful. Got a little bit of hesitation by LA there, but is getting out and coming around for another scoring pass here.
Watching down here, the star has been passed forward for LA.
That was a nice block by She Deviled Egg on Jaeger.
Apologize. I thought it has it. You know what? It may have been passed. Somebody's got it in their hand at the moment. I'll tell you that much. We'll get back
I don't
to
know.
here.
Actually, I think She Deviled Egg. No, I was gonna say I thought I saw it, but nope.
Anyhow, immaterial now. So at the
I think that was 3 scoring passes. Did I hear 15?
You did.
Wow.
You did
Nicely
indeed.
done.
15-point jam for Scary Jaeger. And
Is this a power 2?
right, we have a penalty picked up by one of the Los Angeles Jammers. If the star was passed, again, if it was. Let's see.
Looks like a stopping maybe.
Yep, I believe that was a stopping penalty on one of the 2 jammers. It was not passed forward. That is Egg in the penalty box. All right, so power jam for Arizona. That's also penetration sitting in the penalty box at the moment.
We got Evil Twin out there trying to get some points for the hot shots. Nice solid wall, puts her down a bit, but she's back up and trying to keep going.
Yeah, just a very effective block there at the back of the pack by that LA pivot. That was Jane Woe. Just really absorbed all that momentum, and then, oh, look out, bunch of
Twin
skaters
is out
down
there
back
dancing
here.
a little
Heads
bit
up.
as the jammer while other skaters are on the ground. We got 18 seconds left for Twin to come around and get any more points.
Evil Twin now trying to, oh, Jane Woe blocks Twin. Somebody, apparently Evil Twin's just bound and determined to get knocked out of the track down there and land in the OPR's lap.
I was going to say, that's a very similar spot as earlier. Please do not go out of the track. I'll cross my fingers for you.
So 8 points for Arizona up on the board. There is will be about 2.5 minutes to go until the end of the first quarter. So we've got Baby V for Los Angeles.
Looks like Hurricane May for Arizona. Believe we're gonna have a timeout here. Check a couple things.
There we are. Okay. Yep, we had a team timeout that came in from Lollipop like right as Crash was getting ready to blow the whistle to start the jam. So the timeout did come in before the jam started. So anyhow, we will back that back off the clock as we have done. Team timeout Arizona to talk this one over. So let's see, exactly 2:30 to go here in the first quarter. And we would like to tell you again, if you're making lunch plans at halftime of this bout or between the 2 bouts, outside is guac on up, delicious pressed sandwiches amongst other things. Freya Hugs gives a thumbs up, said the Cubano was very good. Came with a little side of guacamole that was topped with pomegranate arrows. Oh my goodness, so cute.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, so the food, I mean, it smelled great coming out of there. I love to say, I do not eat while I'm announcing because who wants to listen to me hiccup and burp? But I am jealous again today. The SoCal Creations, those burgers yesterday looked legit. And so this food today looks really good as well. So back to it. Same jammers, Baby V, Hurricane May.
2:30 left on the clock in this first quarter.
And Baby V is going to line up behind Oblivion Westwood, trying to get clear. That pivot for Arizona up to the task for the moment, and still up to the task. Mimi Mahler out there. Hurricane May is out for Arizona. Baby V is going to be on the pursuit. May is going to really get the head moving coming through the corner there now as angles through the turn. Baby V is closing the gap. No slouch. Hurricane May is really flying and calls it off. Baby V was up to the task. I mean, Hurricane May is fleet of skate, as we know here in the home league. So Baby V was absolutely moving as well.
That was really solid by May, too. She had a nice little hop in turn 1 and was being really strategic of staying in front and calling it as soon as she got some points. So nice job, May.
Lining up for Los Angeles to jam is Penetration, number 218.
Looks like Dolly Spartan out there, number 300 for Arizona. We got a slow start here with jammers inching along towards turn 1 here. It's a pretty solid wall there by the LA skaters. Dolly is not able to get out just yet, but Skid Vicious is trying some offense, making a hole for Dolly.
Yeah, Penetration is absolutely straight up playing jammer defense only right now. I mean, I like to the point of turning around and facing Dolly and finishing blocks to the infield. So, at the moment, not actively trying to exit the pack is Penetration. And now turns and now fakes back. So, now turns. Now, all right, now is trying to push to the front. Now that they've got Dolly goaded in the back, now I see the strategy. All right, Dolly is able to break it, though, and shake clear. Penetration still held in. The Arizona defense was ready for that wrinkle.
We got 3 seconds on the clock. I'm not sure if Dolly's going to make it around, but I love the hustle, love the effort here.
So, well-played strategy by Los Angeles. Obviously,
yes, very good.
Prevented any scoring by Arizona. So, that was very interesting to see. It was very much, I saw Penny turn all the way around to finish a block to the infield, and I said, well, okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, all the way into the back straightaway before she tried to get out. However, picked up a penalty in the process.
Oh.
So while you're in the trenches and actively blocking, that is definitely a risk you may get.
It looks like both sides are down 1. Nope. Yeah, so it's an even pack out there. Sandy is going to be powered jamming for Arizona.
That is correct. So 11 seconds to go. This will be the last jam of the first quarter. Arizona 69, Los Angeles no score at the moment. And Sandy has snatched off the star right away. I think it's safe to say that quickly in a power jam. I don't think you're fooling anybody.
Ooh, I don't know if that was a directional or not, but I saw Sandy getting slid down to the mid of the track, but is making her way out. Has about 35 seconds to go to get some points in this power jam.
So Arizona's got the pack held up here at the very end of the back straightaway, and here comes Sandy. And the LA blocker, that's Jane Woe with the pivot stripe on, breaks the goad, and they're able to get Sandy knocked off the track, eating more time off the power jam clock, and those defenders not surrendering at this point. Oblivion Westwood and Jane Woe are out there with Sonia Sotomayor, and only 5 seconds left. So very effective power jam defense by Los Angeles here to close out the first quarter. Highly effective power jam defense, I would say.
Looks like White picked up 5 more points, bringing the score 74-0 after the first quarter.
So we'll step aside, a 5-minute quarter break. We will be back momentarily with the second quarter of this bout. Chingadera 2025, live from Phoenix, Arizona.
All right, we have about 15 seconds before we start the second quarter. Looks like LA is down a skater with a skating out of bounds. Skating one short as we get this quarter started.
Yes, indeedy. Back to the action we go. This is going to be Hollywood jamming for the first time for Arizona, and jamming for Los Angeles once again is Valley Hurl. And Hollywood along the inside is out and clear. Valley Hurl was close to the front, then got held up by Skid Vicious, and Skid got clocked by somebody. He took a shoulder right to the face.
Went right down, but is back up in the front waiting.
And
Hood just gets right on by.
Up along the rail, kind of, danced along the top of the kick plate and moved on. So Valley Hurl gets those blockers just out of play. Hood leaping over a blocker to finish a scoring pass. Checking around, and calls it off with Valley Hurl coming in.
I heard an arms called on a jammer, but I don't know which one.
Yeah, I heard of that's your jammer.
Looks
and
like
there's the penalty
818.
board. It was an arms on 818. So Valley Hurl is in the penalty box. It looks like that's the only penalty on there for LA. And we have one Arizona blocker parked in the box as well. Your Arizona jammer for the for the power jam is Pretty Hurt Machine, jamming for the first time for Arizona as well. So Hurt got knocked hard into the infield while I was introducing Hurt. Hurt took a heck of a block. With 43 seconds left in the power jam, Hurt is now out and clear.
Remy Ruckus was waiting to help Hurt out. Is successful, was also down. Hurt was able to get on by at least one scoring pass so far, and is coming back around for a second scoring pass.
So Penetration was lying in wait that time at the back of the wall. There was a tripod of defenders for LA, and Penetration was back there as the first line of defense, and really sapped all the momentum from Pretty Hurt Machine as they passed right in front of us here. Penny and Egg are able to get Hurt down to the infield, and Hurt calls it off, burns the last few seconds off the jam clock.
That was some nice defense by LA there at the end, holding Hurt back. Looks like that was 9 points added to the scoreboard for 92-0. On to Jam 16, we've got Skid Vicious out there for white, and we've got Jane Woe out there for black. Skid is out in turn one and already coming around.
Jane Woe is blocked off to the infield, now back up, and is going to try to go to work against that front wall of Arizona defenders as Skid runs by along the inside.
I don't think anybody was really seeing her come by because she was out unscathed, but LA is out while Skid is trying to come around and get some points before she's forced to call it off.
So Skid does call it off with Jane Woe coming down the front straightaway.
Sounds like white is down one. I don't know the penalty. Multiplayer, maybe? Trying to read from here. Multiplayer and a directional block on white.
LA skated clean, so full complement of blockers for LA. Strong pack advantage here, 4-2. We're going to have Scary Yeager is jamming for Arizona.
Looks like that's Baby V for LA. Yeager is already out and trying to get around as White's lead jammer. Baby V is trying to get by Mimi Mahler here in the front. Yeager's also trying to get some points for White.
Mimi
Lots
blocking
of defense.
Baby V down to the inside. Sandy's up there as well. That's your two defenders for Arizona. Meanwhile, LA working to keep Yeager pinned at the back. And Yeager's able to fight through a block at the front of the pack by Gandalf the Cray. Baby V able to get by Sandy at the front of the pack and get out to try to keep this to another final scoring pass for Scaren Yeager, who fights through that four wall, trips over a leg, gets up and finishes it off.
Looks like we got a low block on black 430.
No penalties on Arizona. 10 points for them. We are tightening the knee straps in front of us. That is Nikki Badaz. Checking the gear before she takes off. And then that is She Deviled Egg for LA. And Egg is going to be out to the front as well and is going to be right behind Nikki. Nikki throws a block.
Oh, we got a lead change.
And we have a lead change.
Oh, that was fun.
So Nikki tried to throw a block up into the rail. Egg was able to dodge it. Egg took off, and then Egg called it off just before Nikki snuck by on the inside. So, brief little jammer race. Little fun, a high five between the two jammers coming off the track. And you saw, that's a Pretty Hurt Machine coming in there as a pivot, kind of making things interesting too. So
that was fun. I was going to say, I think both teams skated clean there. I don't see anyone in the box, so full pack here. Both jammers trying to get some points here.
That's May for Arizona, YOLO for Los Angeles. And, oh, big collision. We got 5 skaters down. Everybody back up.
We've got May coming around on her scoring pass here in turn 1, while LA is still fighting to get out. May is out again. A lot of nice recycling out there, trying to hold the LA Jammer back while also getting ready for some offense with May coming around here in turn 3.
So May hopping through. YOLO is now going to line up behind a couple of defenders, while is lined up behind Mimi Mahler. Now darts around, tries to take off. Looked like she was going to be content to play jammer defense, but ends up getting pinned to the rail again as May blasts through the pack.
We had 10 seconds with May getting out of that pack, so she could get a 4th scoring pass here. 3 seconds to go. Can she get any?
Catches up.
We'll see.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was hip to hip with Remy Ruckus as the whistle blew. We will see what kind of points may have come down there because, you know, sound travels slower than light. So
that's true.
Absolutely.
Let's wait for the official numbers.
Right.
Looks like 16 points there for White.
So 16. So we did pick up a point on the back end of that. With May coming around for a final scoring pass, and we do have a whistle. We got a team timeout, LA, so we're going to have a brief stoppage in play. We're roughly halfway through the second quarter. So LA calls their first team timeout of the first half. We would love to let you know about some of our, let's tell you about the silent auction once more. We got our silent auction that is down there in the vendor village, amongst other options that we talked about earlier on in this bout. Another thing that we have down there is the silent auction. Our 2 big ticket items are the National Park Bundle. That includes a 2025 National Pass that's worth over $130. We also have Element IV Therapy. That's a value of $220. It's Arizona's premier company for mobile IV. So those are our 2 sort of large ticket items for the silent auction down there here at Chingadera. And also we have, we got a challenge. We have a challenge from Arizona. So Arizona is going to issue a challenge, and it's a points challenge, so the eyes in the sky are going to head down. Was also going to say, here in the arena, Rhea Riot Tattoo is here. We have flash tattoos being done. Flash tattoos for every budget, they say. So $40 to $120. Bones is hanging out down here in front of the manager's office, which is the closed door of the 2 along the back straightaway at the moment. And that is where they are setting up. Bones will be taking orders and lining up tattooees. And then Tierney is here up there in the stands to do the actual tattooing and giving the flash tattoos. I've seen at least 2 people running around with new tattoos this weekend already.
I love it. I feel like it's so fun that we have some tattooing going on during Derby.
It is great fun. So yeah, that is another thing to check out during halftime or between the bouts today.
It's times like these when we are having an official timeout that I wish they were mic'd up and we could hear what they're talking about, especially with points.
Right.
So curious what's going to happen.
Right. Well, the secret is, and you know, I'm married to a a referee. I'm married
So
to
you
a
have all the
regulator.
secrets.
Right. So during challenges, what they actually do is they're actually setting up where they're going to have their after party because they don't like coming to the skaters' after party
Is that right?
because they think the skaters' after party is, and I quote, uncool. Close
Oh,
quote.
wow.
So currently they're discussing where to go other than the official after party at the, what was it? The Churchill. I almost said the Roosevelt.
Churchill.
The other World War II world
Different
leader.
name.
The
Yep.
Churchill. The Churchill is over on Grand as well. That is the, yeah, see, well, again, that's how my brain works. Oops, the Churchill, not the Roosevelt. My mistake. Anyway, the Churchill is over on Grand Avenue. And it looks like the dinner plans are set. So, of course, they're like, oh, by the way, what's the challenge? Yuck, yuck. No, I am totally kidding. It is, I am absolutely poking fun. And except the only part of that that's true is the fact that I'm married to a regulator and they're going to murder me when somebody tells them I was saying this. Those are the two parts of that are true. The points challenge is going to come up here. And they will let us know what the results are. The coaches are already being advised of that down on the track.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see what happens
second.
with this challenge. Initially 16 points on the board, and we will be updating that shortly. We're getting the official info right here. Sounds like points are going to
There we
stand
are.
at
Point-
16.
yes. Points are going to stand. So after that challenge, back up to the track we go. As we said, points stand as called. So Arizona with 16 points in that jam. This is going to be... What do we got? Dolly Spartan for Arizona. Sorry, looking right in front of me here. And that's 8:18 for LA. I buried the roster. My mistake. That is Valley Hurl for LA. So that is Dolly now out for Arizona.
We got a fast pack out there, but also trying to hold LA back here in turn 3 as Dolly comes around.
Valley Hurl is still trying to press through at the front of the pack.
Dolly's really fighting to get out of there and makes it out just on the low and is coming back around with 25 seconds to score some points. LA Jammer is still behind the pack and not out.
So Dolly now catching up to the pack, 14 seconds to go on the jam clock, and is going to run into a couple of blockers there at the front of the pack. Valley Hurl trying to get out as well, also ends up on the same spot on the infield. Dolly now, it had Jesus just clearing a blocker out of the way, again with one of those rude kind of blocks. That was, yeah, just get out of here. Jesus along the inside, or should I say, Jesus. I got to tell Jesus when I went to Battle on the Bank how much I love saying that, and Sheezy was like, I've heard that before, and I was like, oh my gosh, don't even. Oh my God,
I need to work on my announcer voice. You're like way to say certain words. I'm not quite there yet, but it looks like we have Bitch Please out there for White jamming and is out in turn 1. We've got 606 for LA. That is She Doubled Egg.
Yeah.
Also
Egg gets
out.
Egg gets out to the cheers of Egg from the bench and a rubber duck being pumped up and down. And Bitch Please gets back up on the track, has to call it off quick, got bumped off by those blockers there at the entrance to the back straightaway. Right back to it they go. Looks like we have no penalties on either side.
We got a full pack in that case. Looks like Holly Hood is going to be jamming for White.
And Slammin' Amazon is out there for Los Angeles. And Holly Hood almost had an opening, started into that running stride, and then is able to jump over a couple of down skaters and go. We've got Slammin' Amazon is going to try to get those blockers pushed out of play and does. So Slammin' Amazon is out for Los Angeles.
We've got Hood trying to get some points before the LA Jammer is going to make her call it off.
And Hollywood was trying to stay on the track behind, I believe that was Hannah Barbarian, and Hannah was able to execute the block, so Hood had to call it off. 3 points for Arizona in that jam. And I do see some penalty board action. I heard some kind of illegal block on Hannah Barbarian. We'll get the sign up here in a second. They're still scribbling that down. That's a long number. Heard
Sounds like
directional
LA
block
has
on,
2 penalties.
Yeah. That was a directional block on one of the Arizona skaters.
All right, so we got a small pack
sorry,
out
that
there.
was a directional block on YOLO. Penalties still trickling in, and we're ready to go. So,
we've got Jaeger out there jamming for white and is getting out. And
Baby V is
also,
your jammer for Los Angeles.
there you go.
Yep.
May is trying her best to hold LA back along with Mimi Mahler there in the front, while Jaeger's coming around to get some points for white.
Mimi knocks Baby V off onto the infield. Jaeger now is going to go around the outside as Mimi again is going to deliver a hard shot to Baby V right here in front of us. So Jaeger now trucking around, 24 seconds to go. Jaeger to the high side to get around Jesus. Baby V gets out, kind of follows behind Jaeger, clearing the pack, and is going to get on the pursuit now.
Jaeger is letting it run through. Oh, calls it just before some points, but running that clock out as white has lead.
So checking in now on the next jam as 10 more points for Arizona. We have Hollywood for Arizona.
And that's She Deviled Egg for LA. Got just over 3 minutes left in this quarter. That's Hood jumping the straightaway to get out immediately with 56 seconds left to score some points. LA has made their way out. They're not lead. Hood does her famous jumping the coping with a little hop there, trying to come around and get that point from She Deviled Egg. Oh, Hood gets some more points. There's a little bit of a pile up, and we're on to the next jam.
A collision there as Hollywood was pursuing She Deviled Egg back to the pack. And Hollywood calls it off, but LA does get 2 points up on the board, so points for both sides, 5 for Arizona, and sorry, I had to get off the horn there for a second. We have 10 for Arizona, 2 for Los Angeles in that jam. This is going to be Slammin' Amazon for LA.
And that's Scarin' Jaeger for white. Already out again, following Hollywood with 56 seconds left to score some points for white. We've got LA fighting that high while the defensive players keep them in. Jaeger's making their way through to get out and does a successful job. Mimi Mahler's keeping 97 towards the low and unable to get out just yet. Jaeger snakes by on the low. Does a nice little defensive hit to get back on. Still plenty of time to get out of this pack and potentially score more. Depends on.
Yeah, and Jaeger gets free along the coping along the inside, and now Slammin' Amazon's able to get around Hurricane May.
Just running the clock here, it looks like.
And indeed, the clock expires, so we'll check on the score from the infield for that jam, and it's 10 for Arizona. And we are going to have an Arizona Power Jam. We indeed had a penalty that came in on Slammin' Amazon number 97. I keep trying to remember to look over there and look at the board and see if I can see the penalties.
It is hard to do. You need to have bionic vision and a quick turn because there's so much action happening. But looks like we got Evil Twin out there jamming for white in this power jam, still being held back, although is taking some offense by Nikki Badass there. but is held up nicely by number 43 on LA. Oh, sorry, 430 by LA.
So now Evil Twin trying to find a lane around the outside and is able to dodge a block and get clear. Hollywood, they're able to help ensure. So Evil Twin has 13 seconds left and is going to be trying to get back around. There'll be time left for one more jam before halftime coming up. Oblivion Westwood with a very good block on the back of the pack and just spun Twin right into her teammate. And that effectively ate up the momentum thereof.
It looks like this next jam might be the last one of the quarter before we go to halftime.
Yeah, and I see just the jammer out there for Los Angeles.
Yes, it looks like LA is going to have their first power jam. That is She Deviled Egg out there doing the deed for black.
What do we got there? We've got giving it my level best. I really am. It's not we do not usually call these out during home broadcasts, so I'm very much trying to remember to glance over there and look at them. We're trying. Anyhow, there are 2 LA blockers in the penalty box, and I tried to see what it was for. This is She Deviled Egg, as we mentioned, for LA. And now the 3 of them are all going to discuss best strategy, and Egg is going to trip over one of her own blockers. The other one is down. So the pack grinds to a halt until they can get back together, and then Egg's able to get clear along the inside. They've got 25 seconds left on the Derby Dolls Power Jam.
Looks like White is running the accordion here to try avoid getting goaded to get the points for black. Let's see if they can hold it out these next 14 seconds. They got at least 1 plus the ghost points.
Clock is expired on the Power Jam.
LA lovingly shouting, egg, egg, egg.
Yes, big cheer from the bench as we
Nicely
head into
done.
halftime. So 4 points up on the board for She Deviled Egg, and we are at the end of the first half. All right, they were discussing the score there briefly. So as we head into halftime, that does finalize it heading into halftime. It's Arizona 178, LA 6. We will be back after a 15-minute halftime break. Like I said, here in the arena, we invite you to check out the vendor village, check out the food options outside. That's also, you're going to have a whole hour to spend time in those 2 places. The silent auction, again, that's also down in the vendor village, so check that out while you're down there. Yeah, delicious baked goods down there, Midway merchandise, Lost Dutchman Tattoo. Don't forget about Lost Dutchman Tattoo, one of our league sponsors. So we'll be back after this halftime break. We'll be back in just a bit.
All right, we're under just 1 more minute to go before the second half gets started. Teams have switched benches. LA is now on far bench and Arizona is on close.
Clock winding down, under 30 seconds to go here in the halftime break. I was going to say, glanced over to look at the clock, and there it is. So we are going to start the second half with Dolly Spartan for Arizona. And that'll be Valley Hurl for the Los Angeles Derby Dolls X. Officials are going to coast out to their spots. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say both teams are down a skater. So we've got 3-on-3 out there with both jammers. Dolly Spartan gets out just before turn 1 is lead jammer, as Valley Hurl is trying to also get out of the Arizona pack here.
Hollywood at the front of the pack gets an assist from Sandra Slay O'Connor, I believe is who is in there assisting. No, that was Nikki Badass that was helping Hollywood. And now they're able, Valley Hurl able to get out of the pack as Dolly with a full head of steam racing through the pack and calls it off. So no penalties on Los Angeles, just one on the blocker for Arizona. This is going to be... Oh, she doubled egg. Thank you. I don't know why I thought that was an 8 in the middle of it. Skarin Yeager for Arizona. She deviled egg is nearer the front, trying to find an open lane around the outside and maybe follow Yeager. Yeager is able to get around their own blocker. She deviled egg takes a hard fall and gets up and takes off.
That was incredible defense by Hurricane May, holding 606 back. Yeager is now coming around, getting some points for White, and is calling it just before Egg came around.
Egg put some fingers up, so let's see if the referees agree. 4 points for Arizona, and I did not see any offered for LA.
Sounds like White is down, failure to reform in that last jam.
Yep. We've got jamming for Arizona for the first time. That's Ash Smasham. And jamming for LA is Baby V. That's number 151 versus number 5515.
We've got Evil Twin trying to hold LA back, but LA is officially your lead jammer.
Baby
Ash
V.
is still in the back trying to get out.
So Ash is doing battle against Penetration at the back of the pack and is going to get rolled down to the infield, as Baby V at the front of the pack takes a hard block from Nikki Badass, but finds their way around the outside and is able to get clear.
Baby V's coming around to get some more points for LA here, following their offensive player. Looks like getting a little stuck by White up front defensively, but it's able to get on out. 3 more seconds left of the jam.
Ash Smasham would continue to be pinned into the back of the pack by the LA defense.
Yeah, that was great defense by LA, not allowing Arizona to get out. It does look like it resulted in a jammer penalty for White and a blocker penalty for White as well.
So with that penalty, LA now has a power jam. At the jammer line for Los Angeles is Chance the Lapper. Looks like LA only has 2 blockers out there. So a very small pack. There's 3 blockers for Arizona, as we mentioned, the LA power jam. So collision, couple of skaters, but both LA skaters kind of hit each other there, trying to get around the pack. Chance the Lapper, looking for an opening, is now going to go up against the front wall of Arizona blockers.
Yeah, even though this is a power jam for LA, this is a tough wall with Arizona. You've got Hurricane May, Mimi Mahler, and Pretty Hurt Machine all doing their best to stop LA from even getting out so far. Got 25 seconds left of this jam. Ideally, LA can get out and try to get a few points before it's over. But again, this is a tough wall to be against.
Yeah, you saw LA waiting, and then Jane Woe threw a block. Chance the Lapper does get out of the pack. There is not much time. There's 3 seconds left for them to get down the front straightaway, and they try to race past Mimi as the whistle blows. So let's check from down there and see. And we've got no points from the infield. So the Arizona defense holds during the power jam just long enough to prevent any points.
Yeah, that was great defense by Arizona. Looks like we got Nikki Badass out there on the jammer line for the Hot Shots and Valley Hurl for the Derby Dolls. I didn't get a chance to see those penalties, but I do see a couple of LA skaters in the box.
We are going to have a challenge. I did see that flag come up on the LA bench. So, challenge. We have an official timeout. Well, are they challenging? Maybe that has not come to pass yet. Yeah, I was going to say, so an official timeout, not yet a challenge, is what we're being told. Although I did see the flag come up, and I heard the word challenge on the bench. Perhaps they changed their minds, which, as I know, does happen. So, at the moment, an official timeout with 10:03 to go in the third quarter. Arizona 191, Los Angeles 16. We'll mention it one more time. The after-party location, once the award ceremony winds down, etc., this afternoon around 6 p.m. Join us at the Churchill, which is down on Grand Avenue. Excuse me, it's not on Grand Avenue. I think I said that earlier. There's the challenge. Not on Grand Avenue. It's off of Roosevelt. Sorry. The Churchill is off of Roosevelt. However, I should just say the Churchill and then say Navit. That's what everybody does now anyway. Anyhow, that is off on Roosevelt. It's near Angel's Trumpet. Interesting little place, and like I said, the pizza there is, get the pizza. It's really good, trust me, from somebody who's eaten a lot of pizza in his life. That's the after party. When we're all wrapped up here, it'll be at the Churchill. Okay, we were checking in. We are waiting for them to get the word down on the infield, but we'll bring you the news once everybody nods and says okay, and it looks like everybody's nodding and saying okay. So, challenge was successful. Penalty is overturned. No penalty on the jammer. And a cheer goes up from the LA contingent. What?
We've got another challenge thrown out there. This is a second and separate challenge by Black. The first one was successful, and now we are waiting a second challenge. All right, so that first challenge was penalty on the jammer. Again, it was successful. They received that challenge back. This is now a challenge for points for Black.
So what we've got sorted out as far as the game reset here is we had a second challenge. So there was a first challenge, and apparently I'm not yet at liberty to say what happened thereof. And we now have a reflexive second challenge issued by the Derby Dolls. So now, was the first challenge by the Derby Dolls? I'm completely lost at this point. All right, so the Derby Dolls won their first challenge, which was the jammer penalty. I'm allowed to say that now. Okay. They won their first challenge, and that was for the jammer penalty. So they got their challenge back, and then they have used their challenge now on the points challenge. All right, so we will wait until I'm given a flare gun from the infield as far as when I'm allowed to announce the results of that, but I'll probably get it from Freya Hugs. would be the most expedient method.
You can see LA celebrating, and that is because they were successful in their second challenge and increased points on the board.
So LA does not get another challenge back. We were asking that, and Bender came over to let us know. But yeah, LA just successfully won 2 challenges in a row. So coming out of that means no power jam for Arizona and 3 points on the board for LA, as we mentioned. So 10 minutes almost exactly to go here in the third quarter. Jamming for Arizona is Nikki Badaz, who is already out. But as we mentioned, not out there by her lonesome. That is Valley Hurl down there in the first turn for LA.
Nikki gets bumped by a defensive LA player, but is able to stay upright and continue going. We've got a little over 30 seconds left of this particular jam. Valley Hurl is still not out yet, trying to get away from Nikki to save her point, but it's unsuccessful. Nikki is out once again with 18 seconds left on the clock. We've got a fast pack out there.
A couple of the LA blockers really tried to get in there, and eventually Valley Hurl, with the LA blockers, were able to get the Arizona pivot goaded at the back is what happened. Nikki is able to get through the pack, though, and will call it off with
That was
Valley
excellent
Hurl.
offense by Holly Hood there for Nikki to get all of those from LA. Nicely done.
So 14 points on the board for Arizona. That'll nose Arizona up over 200 for the bout. This is going to be She-Deviled Egg for LA.
Oh, despite that wonderful offense, I think it resulted in a directional block for Hood. It looks like there's another white skater in the box. Oh, no, just 2. I see a body in the penalty box for LA, so I'm not quite sure who it is, but we are on our way to go.
So Jaeger is going to get around the outside and get out, and along the inside came the LA jammer as well. As we mentioned, that's Egg. So Egg on the pursuit. Jaeger's going to get back to the pack and call it off approaching the pack. Solid wall of LA blockers at the back of the pack as a deterrent.
I was so curious if they were going to go for points, but I think they made the smart move calling it just before to avoid any penalties there.
Yeah, probably best. No penalties for either side, it looks like. I think we're clear. We have Skid Vicious for Arizona.
Looks like Baby V for LA. Both jammers are still being held back successfully by defensive opponents. Skid's running high, trying to get to the front, does a few hops, and is out as lead jammer.
Yeah, we've mentioned this, and I'm talking to one of Skid's teammates here, but with Skid, the way Skid throws that foot in the ground and takes off is like second to none. Just from the 0 to 60 acceleration when Skid is ready to go. Spun down to the inside and couldn't quite hang on to the coping, but gets told to go on. Said the blocker came off, so. And with the signal. But yeah, interesting. I said, you saw there coming into the corner, just absolutely stuck that skate in the ground and just gone.
I love the little twirl from Skid. I saw a little smile, hoping she could get by. Oh, she does it a second time and gets by. Look at that smile. Wow. All right.
So yes, bombshell the bombshell, I was going to say. I like the big smile on your face, too, just watching Skid have a good time.
I am a Skid Vicious fan. She is my teammate and my friend. Nicely done.
So ends up being 9 for Arizona, 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
We're on to Jam 34 here. Looks like we got Hurricane May for Arizona.
Yeah, and a couple of late penalties reflecting. We're going to have Crash come up and bring a stop to the action. I heard a couple of late penalties coming down for Arizona. So an OTO to discuss that. 6:29 to go in the third quarter. We'll remind you one more time, our food truck outside today, a great opportunity to visit them between our bouts here before Arizona takes on Tilted Thunder, is Guac on Up. Fantastic hot pressed sandwiches. We were out there earlier. I say we, I mean me and Freya, so I went over there to kind of check out, see what they got, and it is a thorough menu, many options. So Freya, again, had the Cubano, thumbs up. Freya really enjoyed the Cubano. That comes highly recommended. You know, when you're going to get a pressed sandwich, why mess around? Get one of the best pressed sandwiches that exists. You know what I mean?
I saw Suki at the halftime, and she mentioned she got a grilled cheese with bacon and said it was 5 stars.
Nice.
And only $7.
I was talking with Suki about grilled cheese and how everybody's doing fried cheese now. Yesterday, SoCal had a burger that had fried cheese on it. So
I will not say no to fried cheese.
Oh, yeah. So anyhow, that sounds wonderful. Yeah, they got a grilled cheese. They got simple options and really complex things. So, yeah, that is Guac on Up. Be sure to visit them. Between the bouts, get yourself a tasty pressed sandwich.
Looks like we got number 39. That's Bucket out there for LA, along with Hurricane May 101 for Arizona.
First time Bucket is jammed in this bout. Bucket jammed often enough yesterday for LA. May is going to take off along the inside and get clear. Bucket racing around the outside, just not quite able to get past Mimi. Then gets some help from a couple of blockers, and Bucket is out.
Yeah, Arizona, some good offense by LA there.
Arizona is only skating with the 2 blockers out there. May is able to find an opening, coast through on one skate, and call it off.
Looks like 4 points there for White.
I hear a directional block on Jane Woe that is going on the penalty board as we speak. There we are. That is the only penalty on Los Angeles. No penalties on Arizona. We're underway. That is Valley Hurl for LA.
And that's Holly Hood for Arizona, who is now lead jammer just in turn 1. Super fast skater and is coming around to maybe score some points again in turn 1 where she got out. Is successful with her infamous hop and is got 40 seconds left on the clock to get even more points. LA Jammer is still behind the pack.
Valley Hurl trying to get sprung loose. Those LA blockers are recycling to try to get up there, and just there's another Arizona blocker each time. So Valley Hurl takes off. Hollywood on the pursuit, and Hollywood sneaks by on the inside going through the turn and is going to get back to the pack and try to get some more points on the board. Calls it off after dashing through those blockers at the back of the pack.
That was incredible. The speed from Hood allowed her to not only catch that jammer point, but come back around and score a few more on LA's defensive players, waiting on how many points are coming in.
All right, Arizona puts 12 up on the board there, that partial scoring pass, and as mentioned, I was watching the scoring discussion happen. You probably already told us that it's a power jam and Jaeger, and it's a power jam and it's Jaeger.
I did not mention it. I didn't realize until just now too, but Jaeger is making their way to get some points and capitalize on this power jam.
So Los Angeles also down 2 skaters. I was watching the scoring and I missed the penalty board again. Sorry.
We got Pretty Hurt Machine out there doing a fantastic job holding that LA skater back, causing a little bit of annoyance for them, and Jaeger is out once again with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, for Los Angeles right now, you've got Bucket out there, and then that is another skater to be named momentarily as they come into view.
I think that's Hannah Barbarian on LA there.
Hannah Barbarian, all righty. So Jaeger coming around again. There's 12 seconds left on the power jam clock for Arizona.
Wow, we got 9 seconds left here. Jaeger could haul a little bit and get some points. 4 more seconds. Can they get any? I think so.
And Jaeger along the inside, able to jump over a sliding block from that LA pivot. Checking on the score from the
I don't know
infield.
if you were paying attention, but that was 25 points for Skarin Jaeger.
That was indeed a 25-point jam for Skarin Jaeger. Very effective power O. We're going to have an official timeout. I saw furious scribbling on the penalty board, so we will get a look at that once the officials talk this over. Once again, an official timeout. So there's there's exactly 2:52. Hyper specificity is encouraged while the clock is stopped. 2:52 to go in the third quarter.
Wow, this is a really fun game. There's a lot of talent out there and a lot of celebration.
So we've got Lost Dutchman Tattoo, one of our longtime league sponsors, also one of our tournament sponsors at Chingadera. Lost Dutchman Tattoo, they're a tattoo shop specializing at various styles from realism to traditional. And you can also customize your own tattoo. Walk-ins are accepted. The shop is at 4121 North 19th Avenue, just north of Indian School on 19th Avenue. Nearly any derby skater can tell you where Lost Dutchman is, trust me. So anybody in the league. Lost Dutchman, pretty well popular amongst league skaters. And your other tattoo option, Raya Riot Tattoo, they are here. They are in the arena today. They are taking appointments for flash tattoos. They say they've been phrasing it as flash tattoos for every budget, ranging from 40 to 120. I've seen several people walking around with those already. So be sure to visit Raya Riot Tattoo and talk to Bones down there in front of the manager's office door about picking yourself up a flash tattoo of your own. The official timeout is proceeding on. Head referee Infidel Castro is talking with Lollipop. And head referee Infidel Castro now over to the Los Angeles bench. And head referee Infidel Castro nods to crash, and we're back to the action. All right. So, your Arizona Jammer is Evil Twin.
We got Baby V out there for Los Angeles. A nice block by Dolly Spartan holding in the LA Jammer. Twin is fighting her way in turn one to get out. Both Jammers still being held back. Nobody is lead quite yet. Twin finally makes her escape and is now lead Jammer, while Dolly Spartan continues to play defense there in the back, along with Nikki Badass.
Blocker cleared out in the front of the pack. Evil Twin ran out of real estate along the coping and had to grind to a stop. Now back there with Baby V and trying to get around the LA blockers. And the LA blockers tried to close the door, but Twin able to hop by along the inside and call it off.
I'm seeing 5 points scored there by the White Jammer, bringing the score 260 to 19.
This will be She-Deviled Egg for Los Angeles. The penalty reflecting in for the Arizona team. And we've got one penalty getting reported in for Los Angeles.
So smaller pack, but even pack with both Jammers out. Neither Jammer is out quite yet. Great defensive playing by both teams, holding each Jammer behind. Looks like we got a little offense being played by LA up in the front, trying to get that Jammer out, but currently unsuccessful.
Yeah, so far at the back of the pack as well, as we mentioned, Hurricane May is held up. That is Sonia Sotomayor back there.
We got a little over 20 seconds left to try to score some points for LA here.
Yep, Egg gets out for LA. Lead Jammer. And now the star's been passed forward. Mimi Mahler takes over as jammer for Arizona. Here comes Egg around a couple of down skaters.
We got
Gets
a
blocked
nice
hard
defensive
off the
play by
track.
Bitch Please, putting the jammer on the infield.
And Egg gets back up and calls it off. Excellent block by Bitch Please at the end of the pack. They're really redirecting that, using the jammer's own momentum to redirect them off the track.
LA was able to get 4 points on that jam, bringing the score to 23 for LA.
Indeed.
Looks like Dolly Spartan is out there for white, and we've got Valley Hurl for black.
Valley Hurl is going to fight around the outside. Small pack out there, only 2 LA blockers to Arizona's 3, but Valley Hurl is out and clear. This is the last jam of the third quarter as we head down into the quarter break. Valley Hurl right between the blockers and is able to get to the end of the pack and call it off. And with that whistle, that does bring us up to the end of the quarter. So 4 more points on the board for Los Angeles. 5-minute quarter break. Your score right now, Arizona 260, Los Angeles 27. And we'll be right back with the remainder of this bout.
Looks like we got about 10 seconds left on the clock before the last quarter gets started here.
All right. It would definitely appear that Penetration has been ejected for penalties because Penetration just left the building. So saw Penetration heading off the track. So Penetration has probably fouled out. We are now looking at a power jam for Arizona to start things off. As I had noted heading into the break.
Successful panty pass from Sandy to Yeager. Yeager is now putting on the star to be the new jammer to get points for white.
Oh, look
wow.
out. Tried to clear right along the inside, and Jane Woe was ready. Heck of a block, but Yeager's able to absorb it and move on. I feel like the hallmark of Yeager's skating style is able to really absorb contact and just keep moving. Yeager this time around the outside, able to weave past those out-of-play blockers, who are still going to be pretty out of play, it would appear, unless a goad gets broken real fast. And they were not, in fact, out of play. That goad at the back of the pack, grinding forward to keep those blockers in play.
Lots of people yelling at Yeager to get some more points, so let's see what's going to happen. 7 more seconds.
A collision at the front of the pack. Blocker.
The crowd is literally going wild, and by the crowd, I mean Show Enough.
I was going to say, that's again, we have another bombshell supporter in the crowd, so Show Enough out there. Sitting next to Dirty Carrie, Carrie looks positively almost embarrassed, looking around like, yep, that's my teammate.
Yeah.
That Show. Anyway, there's Show cheering and with the voice going up in register and then eventually just like cracking and going supersonic with the scream. Very excited for Yeager. A 20-point power jam for Arizona. I thought that was Show. I'm looking over. That's kind of the bombshell stands with we've got Show over there, Dirty Carrie.
We got Mads. We got Impaler Swift. We got Swifty's mom, Swifty's partner. Wow.
So, official timeout, as we mentioned. Crash calling a brief stoppage to the action. There's going to be 2 Arizona skaters in the penalty box. We will...
We're back to the action here. Looks like we've got Juicy Kiltor as your jammer for Arizona. We have Baby V out there for Los Angeles jamming on the line.
All right, Juicy Kiltor. Oh, look out. Juicy kind of...
Little defense to jammer action there. Is able to stay up and get out in turn 1. Skid Vicious doing her very best to hold Baby V back while Juicy is coming around to score some points for the Hot Shots. Nikki Badass doing a great job defensively holding back LA and the jammer. Juicy Kiltor making her way through in turn 4 to get points, is racing to capture that jammer point and is coming around and calls it.
So Juicy Kiltor cashing that jammer point, coming down out of the front straightaway. This is kind of a bombshells heavy roster for the Hot Shots today, isn't it? I really feel like we got bombshells
I'm gonna say
up
yes
here.
and agree because that's so fun to say.
So anyhow, oh my goodness.
Oh.
We have a power jam now for Los Angeles. Looked over and saw that as She Deviled Egg at the jammer line for LA. So penalty picked up with those 5 points for Juicy Kiltor.
We have a solid white wall in the back as Egg is trying to get out. Oh, and does successfully.
Yeah, excellent move right there at the front of the pack. Kind of had the pivot up there guessing. And Egg able to duck along to the inside and get clear quickly for Los Angeles. Still 40 seconds left on the power jam.
Mimi Mahler got hit off, and therefore the pack was split. She was then goaded, but was able to get back to the front, and that's now a 4-wall of white with Egg trying to get some points for LA.
LA blockers are now just kind of trying to get in between Arizona blockers and drive that wall apart. Egg down to the inside. Gets blocked to the infield by Hurricane May. Gets back up. LA is going to start the charge again. Mimi Mahler, another block knocking Egg down to the infield. 10 seconds left on the clock. And Egg not able to get clear. Mimi again with the defense.
Mimi getting out a second time, causing the pack. Oh, nice. It's over. I'm not even going to finish that sentence.
So LA gets 4 points on the power jam.
Looks like we've got Holly Hood out here on the jammer line for white, along with Valley Hurl for black. Although skaters are coming down the track, it looks like.
I saw a team timeout being signaled, thereby making it official. So team timeout, Arizona. So we'll take a stop in the action. 11:03 to go in the fourth quarter. Arizona 285, Los Angeles 31. Once again here in the arena, a couple of things we can mention to you. We got Vendor Village, which has 4 vendors and a silent auction. My goodness. Down on Vendor Village, we've got Oh My Quad. Oh My Quad is down there. You know them. Skate shop located in Northern Arizona. Northern Arizona's premier skate shop. All sorts of skate accessories. We've got Midway Magic's merchandise booth. Get your Midway Magic gear. One of the premier, I would say one of the premier, would you say, Allie, one of the premier traveling
Midway?
Yeah, one of the premier traveling,
Teams?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, a team, I guess.
Yeah, mashup.
But I'm trying to quantify because they do both bank track and flat track, obviously.
Yeah,
so
they're very well known, I think, in both worlds, for sure.
So anyhow, Midway Magic is, and then also we got Green Irish Moon skate and shoelace accessories, and finally Ravens Sweet Haven Bakery. It's called Sweet Haven, but like I said, there are savory options. Cornbread muffins. That's what cornbread muffins. I have several of those in a bag, and I will take them home and consume them with abandon.
I love this. I want some, and I love this for you.
Yes,
looks like.
Do not tell my gastroenterologist that I'm eating bread tonight. I swear, if any of you do. All right, 285 to 31, 11:03 to go in the fourth quarter. There goes Holly Hood around the outside, quickly to the front.
That was excellent strategy. It was very clear there was a plan there with Hood running on the high, was able to get out immediately while also holding back LA. And I mean, Hood is just doing what she does best, which is speed and agility along with strategy and taking the holes when available.
You saw Holly Hood racing clear along the inside. Now gets clipped by an LA blocker, but able to absorb the contact and go. Valley Hurl shakes loose and is going to be behind Holly Hood to try to cap this at a final scoring pass for Hood with 23 seconds left on the clock. And those end blockers for LA were just out of play. And Hood able to skate on past. So we got Hood putting 14 on the board for Arizona. We are now looking at Sandra Slay O'Connor for Arizona. And your jammer for Los Angeles, that is Bucket, number 39. So Sandy to the high side, bounces off the rail. Now through the turn. And Bucket out as well to the cheer of the LA crowd. I like, it's a dead giveaway when the LA jammer gets out. You hear the crowd go up. Meanwhile, there goes Sandy up into the back of the pack. Solid defense by that wall. And calls it off with Bucket coming in with a full head of steam.
I believe that's Ash Smasham out there for white now, jamming along with Baby V for black. Waiting on any penalties. I think we're full.
Yep, full pack, no penalties either side. And big tightly bunched pack right at first. Ash is going to try to drive along the rail, just using that rail as leverage and just trying to pull herself along, but gets forced down to the inside. And oh, look out, Skid was waiting with the shoulder. That shoulder was loaded. Look out, everybody. Meanwhile, there is Nikki Badaz doing battle against Baby V. Baby V gets a block from Jesus and gets clear. Baby V is your lead jammer for Los Angeles. Vanessa bludgeons. Ash is able to get over a skate of number 76 for LA to get clear as well.
That was great strategy by Arizona. As soon as their jammer got out, they all ran to the front to get away from LA coming around trying to get their points.
Good defensive execution there in the pack by Arizona, and they did indeed keep Baby V from scoring any points on that jam. We are lots of skaters shifting positions. We have Los Angeles has no penalties once again. Now an Arizona blocker comes back up, so LA again skating clean, as they've done several times. I feel like LA's been very light on penalties, especially here in the second half. The times that I do remember to look at the board, anyhow, there goes Scary Jaeger to the front of the pack, but it is behind your jammer for LA. Your jammer for LA is She Deviled Egg.
Chance the Lapper did a great job on Jaeger trying to hold them back, and Jaeger's trying to take lead. But I think it was called just before any changes occurred.
She Deviled Egg down on the ground and honestly took a second, stuck her hands up, and said, I'm okay, getting helped up by her teammates. We have an official timeout, giving Egg a second to get back to the bench. Yeah, Egg was coming in. Jaeger was right behind, and Egg started to slow up to avoid a collision, and there wasn't really anywhere for Jaeger to go other than through Egg, unfortunately.
Sometimes that happens,
yeah,
you know, you're willing to have the
both at
speed and
light
force.
Speed, right. So
hoping
anyhow,
that you can get by.
Glad
yeah.
everybody's all right. Egg got spun completely over. It was an egg roll.
But
it was an egg roll is what it
I
was.
see what you did there.
I know, right? That's for Remy. That's for Remy and, what was it, Remy and Dolly apparently. Anywho, we're back to the action, and it's also going to be a power jam. We had a penalty come in on Ash Smash'em, so it's a power jam for
that
LA.
That was Jaegerbomb. Or not Jaegerbomb, but, you know, it was Jaeger, not Ash.
It was Jaeger, thank you. It was not Ash Smash'em. I appreciate it.
We do have Valley Hurl out there as the jammer for this power jam for LA. We have a strong 3-wall in the back of white, now a 4-wall with Skid Vicious back on the track. Going to make this a little difficult for Valley Hurl to get out.
So now kind of right up the middle goes one of the LA blockers trying to break a hole in that Arizona wall. Still getting bounced around and not able to get out yet as Valley Hurl. Nikki Badass with a shoulder to knock Valley Hurl down.
Jezahel is doing a great job offensively trying to get Valley Hurl out, but it just doesn't seem to be working against this 4-wall.
Yeah, LA is operating with just those 2 blockers and the jammer, so difficult for the 2 blockers to get in there because sort of no matter what they do, there's still going to be 2 Arizona defenders linked. You know, you've got 4 on 2, and that's where you end up seeing something like that, which is a 0-point power jam. Excellent defensive effort by Arizona.
Yeah, that's very hard to do, and it's very impressive when it happens with 0 points, but good job, Arizona.
So slightly under 6 minutes to go in regulation. That's Sonia Sotomayor for Los Angeles.
Looks like Hurricane May has a star on for white with a panty pass to Jaeger.
YOLO out quickly, though, so YOLO will be heading back to the pack. The LA blockers getting organized and now springing into action. YOLO is weaving along on the inside, knocked off, gets back up to reestablish. Looked like Jaeger may have gotten it back. Jaeger says, I don't know, with some hands. We will see.
That was a nice little hit by Pretty Hurt Machine there at the end, stopping that jammer. I'll be curious. Final points, looks like 2 for
there
Arizona and 1 for LA.
So Jaeger does get 2 points. And 2 for LA as it comes in, so.
Oh, there we go.
Excellent. All up to speed. 5 minutes to go in regulation. Baby V for Los Angeles. And Dolly Spartan for Arizona.
Ooh, and while Juicy Kiltor was holding that black jammer, Dolly was able to sneak by, although is caught in the high on turn 1, is officially out now as lead jammer.
Baby V doing battle against that 3-wall at the back of the pack for Arizona. Still trying to get clear. Now a blocker kind of trying to back into that as much as possible and see if they can break that wall apart. Dolly finishing off a scoring pass and coming around for a second.
This is 2 times now that Dolly was able to get by thanks to Skid Vicious and Nikki Badass. So good eye on Dolly. With a strong 3-wall in the front, very difficult to get by. Dolly is now on her third scoring pass and is still going, has 10 seconds left to come back around to get even more points.
Baby V is going to sit back there and play jammer defense effectively. Gets right in front of Dolly. Excellent block by Baby V at the back of the pack, much to the delight of the LA contingent in the crowd. Excellent execution of a block. And Baby V keeping further points from being scored. 15 for Arizona in that jam. And
looks like White is down 1 due to an arms penalty.
And 1 LA skater leaves the track as well.
Looks like Sandra Slay O'Connor for White, and just continues to make her way by on the low to be lead jammer. That she-devil egg out there jamming for Black is not out quite yet.
You saw that's like the running back drill when they'll roll a blocking pad across and make the running back wait for an opening. You saw Sandy just kind of couple little stutter steps and waited for the blocking and then just took off.
Just took it when she had it. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Interesting to be able to see that from behind with this vantage point. Meanwhile, Sandy mid-pack trying to find an opening, and then able to take off. She-Deviled Egg was right in behind, but not able to get clear. Tried to follow Sandy, but not able to get there before getting blocked out. 10 seconds left on the jam clock. Sandy closing in, and Egg takes off after helping to execute a 3-wall at the back of the pack with LA. And the clock expires on that jam. Ends up being 8 for Arizona. This will be with just about 2 minutes to go in regulation. That's going to be Evil Twin for the Hot Shots, and that is Valley Hurl for Los Angeles.
And it looks like a full pack out there. I don't see anybody in the penalty box.
I would agree with that assessment. Valley Hurl is pinned in behind a couple of Arizona blockers. There's Jezahel trying to clear some space. Valley Hurl, star off, and we have passed the star forward to Jesus. And Jesus, almost clear, and Jesus gets wiped off the track by Nikki, who clings to the coping and stays on. Evil Twin gets out. Jesus now is going to stick the star on, but play defense at the back of the pack.
That was Evil Twin's second scoring pass. 15 seconds left to go. Some solid defense in the back holding that LA jammer by the Hot Shots.
And she's just able to effectively kind of scroll up the back wall there and get Evil Twin, at least get Evil Twin's stride kind of broken up against that wall and let the defense come together at the front of that.
Looks like Black 76 picked up an arms, and the jammer also picked up a penalty. So this will be a power jam for the Hot Shots.
Indeed it will. We are under a minute to go in regulation, so this is going to be our last regulation jam. Bitch please at the jammer line for Arizona.
There are only 2 LA skaters out there in this particular jam, if I see that. No, it's 3, my bad. But that is Bitch Please jamming for the Hot Shots, number 17, and is coming around to get some points. White is doing a great job holding Black and keeping them separated so that Bitch Please can come by and score as many points as possible.
34 seconds left on the jam clock, 9 seconds left on the quarter clock.
Black really wants to get together and be a wall, but White is keeping them completely separated, so they're not able to run or be a wall against Bitch Please. She's got 20 seconds left to keep going here. I do see a wall formed by 2 LA skaters there up front, although Remy Ruckus and Hurricane May keep them separated, and Bitch is still going.
2 seconds, 1 second, and that'll do it for that 60-second power jam. Close things out in regulation. We'll check on whether there'll be any penalty jams or not. I see head referee Infidel Castro already zipping out to that position, and we'll find out if this is our final score.
That was 20 points for Bitch Please, and for the Hot Shots, I believe Scare and Jaeger got a stopping, which means
penalty jams.
Penalty jams. I forgot all the words,
There we
but
go.
now that they're
It is
doing
a
the
penalty
symbol,
jam.
I know
So,
what's happening.
LA out there, those 3 blockers, I mean, they were kept separate, but they also skated completely clean.
They
So
did.
we roll out with a penalty jam. It's going to be Hollywood for Arizona and Bucket for Los Angeles. LA, of course, by nature, obviously, has a full pack. Arizona down just 1 blocker. Hollywood blast to the front and immediately calls it off. So, Hollywood endeavoring to call it off before any penalties can be called, which would prevent any further penalty jams.
You know, with Hood lining up closer to the jammer line, I knew that was going to happen. Normally, she's about 20 feet back, ready to go. But she said, nope, just going to take it.
So now stepping out trackside to blow the whistle. There we are. Final whistle, your final score. 358-33. The Arizona Derby Dames Hot Shots are victorious in their second game of Chingadera 2025.
Great game, everybody. Very fun to watch and to announce. Thank you for an awesome time. We have another game coming up, but for now, let's celebrate those skaters out there.
Yep, Arizona's coming around for high fives. Coming around as the outside now as well to a cheer from the hometown crowd. Arizona, of course, will be right back out here at 3:15 to do battle against Tilted Thunder. And now Los Angeles will be coming around. This wraps up LA's Chingadera tournament. We love having Los Angeles here. We love all of our teams that travel to visit us here in the Valley of the Sun for these tournaments such as Chingadera. We will next be seeing Los Angeles here in the Hall of Dames at the end of May at Battle on the Bank. So stay
That's
tuned
right.
for that. That is correct. That'll be the next time these two teams face each other, unless we have like a scrimmage in between or some kind of a friendly. But
Yeah, as of now, that is